Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's an early one this morning, but Celtic Transfer Talk waits for no one because we've got a bumper episode today as Celtic officially unveiled their newest signing this morning, and some very big rumours just won't go away. So let's talk about that. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, it would be much appreciated. We're nearly there at 40,000, only about 900 odd subs to go. So if you haven't, please go down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free for more of your daily Celtic content. So let's get into today's Celtic Transfer Talk because this is quite a big one. Let's start off with the big news. Mike Nawrocki has been officially announced as Celtic's latest signing this transfer window. We were waiting for that official announcement. Some people were getting a bit nervous. Some people thinking that he maybe failed the medical just because he wasn't announced as a triple header the other day with Yang and Kwon. But he's here. The statement has been released. The pictures have been shown, and Nawrocki will be playing for Celtic this season. This was the statement Celtic put up on the website this morning. Mike Nawrocki has become the latest addition to Brendan Rodgers' Celtic squad after the defender today joined the club on a 5-year deal from Legia Warsaw. The 22-year-old Polish under-21 internationalist helped Legia Warsaw win the Polish Cup last season, scoring the final spot kick in a 6-5 penalty shootout over Rakow Częstochowa. I don't know if that's the pronunciation, but we're going to go over that. Yeah, he's here. He's officially signed for the club. A very big signing, one that I'm incredibly happy about, I must say, because the centre-half position was somewhere we had to strengthen, and it's a deal that makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about the details. Only 22 years of age, as we've already covered, a deal that's somewhere set between £4.5 to £5.2 million was the rumours that were spread, but a 5-year deal, which once again seems to be the norm now for Celtic. We're signing every player on 4-year, 5-year deals to make sure that they're here for the long haul, and if they're not here for the long haul, we're sure going to make money out of it. So this is someone that you're saying, maybe for 5.2 million at the top end of the deal. If he does leave the club in 2-3 years' time, you're hoping Celtic see, double that figure. We've seen how good Cameron Carter-Vickers has been. We spent £6 million there. We've now spent £5 million here. These are players that Celtic clearly want to make a profit off. We know that if Cameron Carter-Vickers does move on, and touch wood he doesn't anytime soon, but if he does, he's someone we should be seeing, £15 million at least for. And hopefully that'll be the same for Nawrocki if he comes into the team and has the same impact. So very good business from Michael Nicholson and the Celtic board to get a 5-year deal signed. Someone who had attracted interest over Europe, and I think that Celtic got in there nicely timed. There was talk that Union Berlin, for example, were ready to make a move, but Celtic had already got it done, which I'm happy about because, Union Berlin, top 4 side in the Bundesliga, Champions League football as well. It could have maybe been more attractive, but no, he's here at Celtic, and he seems delighted to be here. They have released a full interview with Mike Nawrocki on Celtic TV and the YouTube channel, but here's what he said in the statement this morning. It's great for me to have joined Celtic, and I'm looking forward to meeting up with my new teammates and start training with them. Celtic are a famous club throughout the world, and of course they are well known in Poland, having had a number of Polish players in recent years. So I know just how big this club is and how incredible the supporters are, and I can't wait to play in front of the fans and experience that for myself. I feel like this is now one of these signings that Brendan Rodgers really wanted. He seems that he got to go. I think he's going to come in here to maybe stake his claim in the starting lineup. I don't know. I don't want to say, Carl Starfelt, eat your heart out or anything like that. I don't want to just say he's suddenly dumped. I love Big Starfelt, but we know the traits that Nawrocki's coming in with. We know he's coming in with that ability to play with both his feet. Some would say multi-footed. We know that he's coming in here with that physical presence, with that bit of height over Carl Starfelt as well. I feel like that left-hand side of the centre-half positions could be his if he's good enough. And he should be good enough. We've heard that he's good enough. So I'm really excited. I think this is a huge signing for us and probably one of the biggest we'll make this summer. And, as I touched on, Brendan Rodgers, I think this is one of his men. People were saying, Rodgers isn't getting his signings. Is this one that convinces you? Is this one that will cheer you up a little bit, calm you down maybe? Of course, he played against Brendan Rodgers a couple of years ago in the Conference League against Leicester City. had a very impressive performance that night. And maybe he's been on the radar of Brendan Rodgers since. So he is here. I'm happy he's here. Let's see how things go. We're strengthening that back line, which is probably the most important thing if we want to challenge in Europe. On that note, strengthening the back line doesn't end there. And this summer, people are very eager for Celtic to sign a goalkeeper. And some very exciting rumours that I thought were done, should have been put in the bin, have started to arise once more. Turkish journalist Ahmet Konanç, he posted this late last night, about 11 o'clock. It was very, very late. And the rough Google translation says, Livakovic's manager poses some new challenges. Celtic is also active. Fenerbahce also maintains contact with Keylor Navas. Now, Google Translate isn't obviously the handiest. Livakovic's manager poses some new challenges. I don't know if this means that his agent has got in touch with other clubs and that they've offered some new challenges to the Fenerbahce deal. Of course, this all comes off the back of the fact that last week it was reported the deal was done effectively. It looked as though he was signing for Fenerbahce. Terms had been agreed and it was very close to happening. Now it looks as though some challenges have came into that. Could those challenges be that Celtic are interested? That other parties are offering a more attractive destination for Dominic Livaković? Could Celtic be one of those attractive destinations for Dominic Livaković? Fenerbahce are keeping in touch with Keylor Navas, of course, a fantastic keeper, played for Real Madrid, PSG, one of the most well-known keepers of the last decade or so. Is that them kind of admitting to themselves that the Livaković deal maybe isn't going to happen? Are they keeping their options open elsewhere? Are Celtic now back in the mix for what would be a massive signing? Don't get me wrong, I want to start off with a very big disclaimer here. I don't think it will happen. As much, you know me, and you know my opinions on Dominic Livaković, and one of these guys that I've had a kind of long-term relationship with through Football Manager. I would love him to sign for Celtic, but what I will say off the bat is I don't think it will happen. I'm not getting my hopes up of it. I think that it would take a lot for this turn of events to sway towards Celtic's direction. However, if we are interested, there is no denying that Celtic could make a realistic bid for the player, make a realistic attempt at getting the player, and I guess you can never say never. I think that the Fenerbahce deal was reported by Fabrizio Romano to be somewhere in the region of about 10 million euros, which would be, what, £8-9 million. And if Celtic wanted to go and spend that on a marquee signing, then this is the summer they could do that. It's not out of, we've paid £9 million for a player before. We've signed Odsonne Edouard for, a similar, well, was it as high as 9 million? We spent a lot of money on Edouard. Put it that way, right? Spent a lot of money on Odsonne Edouard. It's not out the realms of possibility. And it's a signing that Celtic need to realise that, if we want to improve the goalkeeper, if we want to get a player in that position, this is the best option. And that sort of money, I think, will be worth it. Let me get one thing straight. And this is, I mean this seriously, without any kind of bias belonging to Livaković because I have a very high up opinion of him, etc, etc. If Celtic were to complete the signing of Dominic Livaković, if it was possible, if the option is there for it to happen, it would be Celtic's biggest signing in years. And I can't think of many signings who would trump that personally. I think it's kind of brought down a little bit because he's a goalkeeper and, big signings for Celtic usually go outfield. But when it comes to Livaković, you're signing one of the most spoke about goalkeepers in the world after the 22 World Cup. You're talking about someone whose stock in the game had really risen. He was goalkeeper of the tournament. He has been linked with numerous big clubs as well, people watching him. This is someone who I think would really set the tone for the Brendan Rodgers era and this challenge that Celtic want to do in Europe. This, I genuinely mean it. I think it would be... I can't remember many big signings in my lifetime who would come close to that. Since I can start remembering football, 2007-8 onwards. I can't think of many who match that statement. And the price would suggest that's true. If we're talking £8-9 million, we don't throw that out that much often. I think that this would be the biggest statement that Celtic Football Club could make, and the biggest marquee signing this country will have seen in quite a while. And if it's possible, Celtic, get in amongst it. as I said, I don't want to get my hopes up. We'll follow it very, very closely. The rumours aren't going away though. Don't do this to me, man. Don't do it to me. And finally, to end off today's video, Ozazio Rigidi has left Celtic. This is a bit late. You've probably known this by now, but he is off. He's away to join League 2 side, or League, was it Ondois? Dois? Is that how you say it? League Dois? He's away to join Amiens in France, so he's left Celtic in a permanent deal. Best of luck to him. Was never really good enough to play for Celtic, but a lovely guy by all accounts, and gave it his all. So yeah, he's away. The clear out starts at Celtic now. Who's next? Right, that'll do it for today. Like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All that good jazz. But we'll be back tomorrow. And then we'll be back with a podcast on Friday as well before I jet off to Belgium. So yeah, thank you. I'm away to see Oppenheimer and Barbie now. It's Barbenheimer day for me. Yep. Right. See you later.